Hello, dear friends. There is no better sting than the necessity. Necessity sharpens the wit and is the mother of imagination. To judge by devotion and to war by necessity. Necessity teaches more than 10 years of university. One of the greatest pleasures in life is to do what others say we cannot do. Opinion piece. How to make virtue out of necessity. How to do what others say we can't do. We are forced to innovate. Every cloud has a silver lining. How to take advantage of disadvantages. How to profit from misfortunes. Pushed out of our comfort zone. New energies are heading towards Earth. It is time to get used to miracles. Where one door closes, a new one opens. Earth asked for help from the Galactic Community. We will have to change our world view. The cleansing currents will rise with care. Many human beings have become hard-hearted. Destructive powers are pressuring us all. The time between incarnations has been reduced to a minimum. The consciousness of human beings is very difficult to reach. This is shrouded in negativity that resists healing. Karmic retaliation in the old matrix has stopped working. All human beings go through a transformation. Many cannot withstand the pressure of negative forces. The Logos of Earth has been charged with new programming. The sowing began in November and the harvest in December. An ending is only a new beginning, so that we can rebuild. Every work of the forces of light reduces the programmed deadlines. Wikipedia to remove all information on communist genocides. Let's start. We all face difficulties, and while we don't wish hard times on anyone, we can use them to grow and strengthen ourselves. This is called making virtue out of necessity. It will never help to curse the world and blame circumstances. The perception of our vulnerability has made us rediscover the value of solidarity and community. The current international crisis has led us to rethink many things, and it is commonplace that creative solutions to everyday problems are being sought in all sectors. Looking at it from another point of view, we have been abruptly pushed out of our comfort zone and are forced to innovate. To bite the bullet is to make an effort to conceal fear, to master and to overcome adversity. Or one of the principles that synthesizes Stoicism is to make virtue out of necessity. This principle summarizes the philosophy of Stoicism and consists in taking advantage of disadvantages and benefiting from misfortunes. When life is twisted in ordinary situations, it is often forgotten that every cloud has a silver lining. Where one door closes, a new one opens. Human life, in its most essential dimension, consists in making virtue of necessity. It consists in accepting the limits within which life unfolds, and within them opening a space for a better life. It consists in tolerating with constant courage what cannot be avoided and improving the conditions of life. Virtue is strength, vigor or courage, power or authority to act, integrity of mind and goodness of life. Virtue as action or right way of proceeding, the disposition of the human being to act in accordance with certain ideal projects such as good, truth, justice and beauty. Evidence of change. There are many signs of change and that we are approaching the finish line. It is not about repressing our emotions. Feelings of anger, sadness, disappointment, and confusion must be accepted to honor those emotions. And sometimes people find venting by doing this online to find comfort in the fact that others may feel the same way. You can face your struggle and learn from it. Use the difficult times of your past to your advantage. You can believe that you have the strength to overcome them. If you can't do that, you will beat them. There is no shame in struggle. We all face our own battles in life. They are part of our journey, part of our story, pieces of our puzzle. Call. Mother Earth's call from liberty. With her last forces, Earth called upon the Galactic Community for help. And for a long time now, this collective has continued the mission to liberate and revive Earth. Not only did they hinder our development, but they even did everything they could to make us as primitive as possible, so that they could more easily implement their plans. Although all this seems fantastic to us, it is time to get used to miracles and unusual things. It would be good to get used to the fact that we will have to change completely, to change our world view, in order to flow smoothly into the new reality. The cleansing currents will rise carefully, so as not to harm human beings, and to make the parasites leave the earth en masse. These energies will cleanse the entire interior and will not allow intruders to enter again. Summary. On November 23rd, 2021, the Galactic Committee transmitted the following summary of the general situation on our planet. Let's start. November began the planting season. December continues the harvest. At the same time, new is sown on the planet and everything old is removed. New energies are directed to the earth that squeezes out of it and its inhabitants everything obsolete, and this infects the vessels through which the life of the planet flowed. The present world is coming to an end. All human beings go through a transformation. Some arrive in another dimension and reboot there, gain strength and return to Earth again. The time between incarnations has been reduced to a minimum so that people can close their karmic debts while the corridor of merciful transition to the new world opens. New programs and codes completely free of destructive and parasitic components are loaded into the consciousness and unconsciousness of Earthlings. Active work with the old three-dimensional energy network continues. It is carried out in stages. Once the negativity is removed from your cells, they are disinfected and then filled with new 5D energy. As the entire grid is transformed, each cell is closely isolated from the others so that contagious energies do not spread again. This is how the three-dimensional Merkaba is restarted by a small cellular footprint. It is still alive but severely weakened. At the same time, all previous and deceased connections are blocked. Without this, the three-dimensional grid could not be removed. It must be gradually cleaned but completely disinfected, so that it never returns to the Earthlings all its negativity. New start. Upon completion of all programmed work, it would immediately self-liquidate the old three-dimensional lattice and automatically turn on full power to the new 5D grid. It would activate additional codes by means of which the purified contrasting forces would enter the Earth. Those who will live on the new planet, backed by the absolute type crystalline framework, will build the 5D world. The others will disperse into different energy apartments in the higher and lower dimensions according to the frequency pattern and scenario each has created for himself. The Earth Logos has been loaded with new programs. They have already been delivered to the Akashic records for implementation on the physical level. Detailed plans are being worked out in energies and blueprints. There are enough co-creators, helpers, and healers. Many friendly cosmic races want to apply their skills and knowledge on Earth, which is acquiring new layers of energy. We will build a new planet, but first we will help to heal it from the aggressive and destructive energy that leads to war. Masculine and feminine. The name of the One Yin Karmic Committee, enhanced by Male Foundation, actively influences the masculine energies that the negative forces have forcibly planted in humankind. The co-creators send a signal to humankind for its transformation. Together with all the forces of light, aggressive masculine energies, in whatever form they are, would be labeled. There would be no leniency for anyone. It works with causes and consequences. Everyone, from the pleroma to the three-dimensional Earth, participates in it. Everyone takes their part for the transformation that is feasible at this time, so that together we can eliminate belligerence and intransigence on this planet. The pleroma is defined as the primordial unity from which all other elements that exist arise, or, in other words, wholeness. According to Jung, the pleroma would be the totality of all opposites. On Earth, masculine aggressiveness began to infect feminine creative power. The feminine energies are becoming male-like, relentless and destructive instead of soft, flowing and life-giving. Therefore, literally, everyone began to transform and heal, and not those who wanted to. The duration of this arduous work will depend on the results. It is performed for the first time in the local universe. The co-creators will be very attentive and, in case of inconsistencies, would quickly intervene. The main problem remains the same. It is very difficult to reach the consciousness of human beings. It is shrouded in a dense fog of negativity that resists healing. Human beings have accumulated it on Earth in great quantity. Its neutralization is one of the important tasks now being addressed on the different levels of the physical and subtle planes. Exclusive and filigree is the help of the Lords of Karma to purify the human world there. This is a test, an examination. All souls of human beings are now being tested for their strength, capacity for mercy, and cleanliness. They are covered by a dense plate of rigidity. Many human beings have become hard-hearted when the dark energies reigned over the earth. It's not surprising. The destructive powers have bristled and are pressing in on everyone. Many cannot withstand the pressure of crazy negative forces that go on, full of despair. Not even death can stop them. Win or destroy. That is their motto, and use the earthlings as hostages. Therefore, the co-creators and the hierarchy of higher light focus on reducing the heat of aggression that destroys souls. It stopped working karmic retaliation in the old three-dimensional matrix and stagnated in spaces and timelines that intertwine with parallel energies. In the transition period, there are not always enough resources for quick retribution for deeds. The co-creators have to straighten, stitch, and separate linear space-time before launching their new version of the multiverse. The energies and time of intentions move freely in it. The reward will come immediately. This is what the co-creators are preparing for Earth for. All of this will be applied after your complete healing and transformation. Now every work of the forces of light reduces the previously scheduled timelines. News of the reset. Simon Park says that all financial testing has been done and that HSBC will lead the process in Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corp. America is on alert for the process. We'll get it going temple in Texas, not Reno, which means those waiting in Reno would have been in the wrong city. The European Union warns of rolling blackouts as Europe's energy crisis worsens, which could be about to get much worse as the Northern Hemisphere winter is only weeks away. New risks are emerging across the continent that households and businesses may have to reduce energy use or even plan intermittent blackouts. Italy warns of European blackouts amid rising prices. Italy's economic development minister warned of the risk of blackouts across Europe, as Prime Minister Mario Draghi reaffirmed his government's readiness to counter the effect of rising energy prices on consumers. Bank eruptcy. On Wednesday, December 1st, the stock market plunged again. The stock market had a 500-point rise and then a drop of almost 1,000 points crazy. The Dow Jones Index goes up and down daily, and always has. If the market dropped 1,500 points since Friday, then a 400 to 700 point pullback would be normal, but it is still a negative trend. All indicators suggest that the markets should be bleeding right now, but they seem to be consolidating. Everything that is happening is an anomaly. The debt ceiling extension ends on Friday and could trigger a collapse. An end is just a new beginning, so we can rebuild. It is a chessboard they are playing on, and we are the pawns if we let them. If Gisela arrived before Christmas, we would have a new song, Silver Bullion instead of Silver Bells. A close Navy contact said it would be a great Christmas this year, but that remains to be seen. I still think we may be looking for an event like a market crash or epic proportions, and it literally could be any time. I think it started on Friday. I know the market futures right now are crashing, so it really could be any time we reset. We are not too far from where we want to be right now, but there will be a lot of broken pieces to glue together and move on. Geopolitics. On Tuesday, Putin said Russian hypersonic missiles could hit some targets in just 5 minutes if their red line is crossed in Ukraine, which would include all NATO countries. Misunderstandings like this could cause international conflicts. They want the European Union to be cut off from Russian raw materials such as oil, natural gas and other minerals. They fear a consolidation of the Eurasian landmass where Germany under Bismarck was linked with Russia by treaty, which would make this Eurasian landmass powerful. On the economic front, today all natural gas and oil to Europe could be cut off, which would cause a crisis in Europe this winter, where the entire population would freeze while its industry would collapse and ask for oil aid from Iran. Pray to the Almighty as the true source to solve all this. We will come as a thief. He will come, as a thief in the night to clean this up. Some say that the city of London would flood to become a nature reserve. The simple answer is the London Underground and the enormously old Victorian drainage system, which is practically at 85% of its full capacity on a normal day. London is a bowl that is not much above natural sea level. The Thames barrier is there as a flood protection blocking the rise and fall of the sea in the English Channel. If there was an unexpected rise of 10 meters above sea level, 75% of London would be flooded. So there is no way there would be a natural reserve. Are they spraying the air at rallies in Melbourne? This has been reported in the media. There have been complaints about some people not feeling well at the rallies, and they claim that it would be something that would be spraying in the air over Melbourne Parliament during the rallies. Middle East. Putin commented that the Middle East is coming together to have his own reserve currency. This would basically be the judgment of the petrodollar. We saw that when they launched the Kuwaiti dinar at around $3, and within a week or a week and a half, it floated up to around $9 before settling back into the mid-$3 range. We have seen Iraq settle all debts in dinars. Everyone is finding tremendous difference in value, and it is very high. Vietnam is one of Iraq's major trading partners. Both are included in the first basket, and they are supposed to go at the same time. The value of the Vietnam dong was reduced during the Vietnam War, but never restored. What they have also discovered in Vietnam since then is that they have a huge manufacturing potential, a very educated population, and a very large oil deposit in what used to be the former demilitarized zone. Most of it is untapped. They have also found iron and other industrial metal deposits there. And if China were to collapse the financial system, we would have a reset in many different ways that could force the financial reset. China is bankrupt, and that the CCP is on its last straw, impotent. I think they are looking for China to implode before they launch it, which could be any time. It would go bankrupt once they stop supporting it. I think we are at the end of our journey. When you combine US real estate debt with what's happening in China, the market could easily crash worldwide. There are too many anomalies happening around us that our unprecedented history is being made. Project Odin is the space for intelligence operation would be conducted from Thule Base and the Cheyenne Mountain bunker complex. It is connected to the Starlink satellite system that controls all networks around the world, bypassing all media, radio, and internet platforms. Project Odin could take over all media platforms through the emergency broadcast system. The coalition is preparing to launch it. Labels. There are 5 levels of people who trade. Level 1, government and royalties. Level 2, whales of the elite with currency platforms, corporations, etc. Level 3, admirals group, Amerindians, ZMKX, large church groups such as Mormons, etc. Level 4, all the hundreds of thousands of us who pay attention to the internet intelligence groups. Level 5 are those who never paid attention, it is to say the general public. Pessimism. A lot of people feel worn out and beaten down because we haven't seen things yet. We haven't seen the victory that everyone wants. The excuses are really limitless. It seems like the good guys are doing things by the law books to handle the dark side. Then, once it is complete, we will move forward with just laws and justice and peace for all mankind. An old piece talked about a confession of a paid internet shield. These people are sent to rooms of pay-to-go sites and bring doubt, sow dissension, make you throw in the towel. These accomplices try to change the direction of your thoughts. Pessimism is death. I have met many pessimists. They think they are all working on the same agenda. They have no future because they cannot imagine or visualize the future. Pessimism is a choice. They can keep their pessimism or drop it as a bad idea. I have dropped many bad ideas over the years. I have friends whose negativity doesn't affect me. I am glad I have friends. I never tell them you are too negative. I just let them rant. It's just them. However, I need to figure out what I personally want to accomplish. The current limitation of fundamental rights and civil liberties was planned for 20 years according to Robert Kennedy Jr., who has been barred from television for 15 years. Eclipse. Solar eclipse. We are approaching a powerful solar eclipse on December 4th at 7:35 a.m. UTC. We will use the energy of this eclipse to meditate and visualize how to reach the critical mass of over 144,000 people and participate in the main meditation for the activation of divine intervention on December 21st, and over 144,000 people who have signed the Planetary Liberation Petition. The forces of light are asking as many people as possible to perform this preparatory reinforcement meditation at the exact time of the eclipse. Although I don't like meditation in mass, I prefer individual meditation. Wikipedia will remove all information about genocides perpetrated by communism. Wikipedia is set to remove the entry on its page referring to the hundreds of millions of mass murders that devastated people subjugated under communist regimes over the last 100 years. The idea of removing such information has generated much criticism, including from Cambridge historian professor Robert Thomas, who sees it as an attempt to whitewash communism, according to the Telegraph on November 27th. The censored page describes the deaths of millions of people during the communist regimes imposed by the Soviet Union, China, Ukraine, Cambodia, Cuba, Yugoslavia, Romania, East Germany, and North Korea, with numerous sources credited. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.